Hi, want to take a sec to introduce myself. My name is Don White. I'm traveling here to India and visiting Avance for the second time. I'm a patient of Dr. Mohit, 56 years old, and I actually have the ability to smile thanks to his talent, his medical background, his professionalism, and his empathy to understand what it means to have a beautiful smile. That's something that is brand new to me. It's not just about the money, it's about the patient, and that speaks volumes. I can only recommend him as probably the best dentist that I personally have ever been to. And even then, he's not a dentist, he's an implantologist, and he's a miracle worker. But you gotta find that out for yourself.
Did you find the staff at the clinic friendly and helpful?
All of them are extremely helpful, extremely friendly. They seem to go out of their way to make you feel like you're part of the whole Avance family, not just someone off the street who's come in to get their teeth fixed.
How would you rate the ability of the dental team to understand your needs?
The whole team is very, very aware of why you're here, what you're looking for, and more so what your expectations are. Sometimes that is translated through the dentist and that they have a real clear understanding of what the procedures are, what's going to happen, and what your expectations are. I'm sure that they have done this so many times it has become routine to them, but they make themselves aware that it's not routine for the patient and that the patient is the one who is undergoing the treatment.
Were all your questions about your treatment explained to you fully?
Absolutely. Any questions that I had, the majority of them were answered even before I set out on the journey to have everything done. But when I got there were other questions that came into my mind that cropped up, and they were answered right away. It didn't leave me in the dark wondering about anything, and they were very open to receiving the questions, and they had knowledgeable answers of things that I wasn't aware of, and not being in the dental profession and wanting to know what was happening, how it was happening. It was laid out on the table for me, and it was really clear and easy to understand. They took the time to explain it in more of a layman's terms that was very comprehensible for me.
Were you comfortable with the cleanliness of the clinic and the sterilization practices followed by the staff?
Absolutely, and that in fact was one of the questions, and I was shown how things were sterilized in the autoclaves, what the technology was that is available to them here, and what they actually did, and the precautions that they take to make sure that their patients are in a clean, sterile environment. And the clinic itself is clean and modern when you walk in, and everything that they did on top of that when you went into the operating theater, you could see it. It was really evident.
Were you comfortable that the clinic and staff maintained your privacy?
Absolutely, 100%. Everything that was discussed with them is confidential. It's 100%, and it rings true of what you see on television of, doctor-patient confidentiality. And I can't really explain it any other way than that for anyone who's ever seen an American television show.
Were there any problems or complaints resolved to your satisfaction?
Every time. I guess I'm kind of a born complainer and what my expectations were, but those expectations were met, and the complaints, there weren't any, but it was more of an inquiring as to want to know what was happening.
Did you find any difficulties with communication between yourself and the clinic due to the language difference?
Absolutely none. Dr. Mohit is absolutely amazing and proficient in the English language. I believe he also has some others under his belt. It was like speaking to someone that I've known for years. There was that comfort level, and when you didn't understand something, it was more of a medical term or a medical procedure term rather than any type of a language barrier.
Do you feel that you received good value for the price of your treatment?
Absolutely. If that value had not been there, then there would have been no consideration to traveling halfway around the world to have the dental work done. It's advantageous even when you take into account the costs associated with the travel here. It is extremely cost efficient. It's Actually, to coin it, it's downright cheap. It's affordable. You can afford to have what people are paying 10 times more for in the US and Canada.
How would you rate the level of treatment given to you by the dentist?
I would have to give it on a scale of 1 to 10, like a 10 plus. I really believe in my heart that if I would have had this level of care through my younger years, I wouldn't even be in the situation where I needed implants and whatever. Dr. Mohit is extremely thorough and took all of the steps and explained the steps necessary to conserve the teeth that I did have so that they would last me a lifetime rather than having to go through this procedure of implants and crowns again.